Welcome to the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. I'm the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef, and I'm joined by a couple of marks. Johnny Mort. You're not fucking Johnny Morts.
I'm not Johnny Mort.
Who the fuck are you?
Who's this guy?
I just snuck in.
Who the fuck is this
It's a
guy?
swerve.
Tell him your name.
I am Niall Morrissey, formerly of Scheduled for Two Falls with this mark.
That's the number 2.
Kiki Dunphy.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Oh, we're joined now by an AEW stan because we can't be having it said that on the internet we're just WWE fans. We're not. We like all types of wrestling: soft ground wrestling, subway wrestling,
Mud.
well, that's soft ground. That's well, it's kind of soft ground
softer
wrestling.
ground.
Very
Yeah.
soft.
Soft and wet ground.
And I love AEW sometimes, but it has fallen off a cliff, in my opinion. Dunphy, you're more invested in AEW. This is the biggest AEW stand that you know.
Proper
so
mark.
Here he is.
Yeah, I would say the last month has been a major cliff fall off for me with AEW.
Past month.
Yeah, like I've been watching it.
Is that it?
I've been watching it fairly consistently up until the last month. I'd say I stopped watching Collision before Christmas. Just aged at the show. Fuck, people are going to know what we're talking about. And then
Could be any Christmas.
Yeah, it could be any Christmas.
And then,
No,
yeah.
it's only been around for one Christmas.
in an undefined Christmas, I stopped watching Collision, and then
When did you stop
Dynamite's-
watching Rampage?
like forever ago.
After the CM Punk debut.
Yeah.
Close enough to that. And then Dynamite, I watched every minute of every Dynamite up until a month ago, and then I didn't even watch the last pay-per-view. Just watch clips.
But it must have started falling off a cliff
Oh, it's
beforehand then.
100%. It was a tough slog for the last 6 months, 8 months maybe, but 6 months.
6
definitely.
months.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go because I'm going to go harder on it, and I don't want to go too hard without you offering the optimism.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to come back. So, like, I think you want it dead, gone.
I don't
You don't
want
want the
it dead.
boys. You don't want the boys
Put them
any more
jobs.
work. No more jobs.
Yeah, and fucking get rid of half the WWE roster at the same time, so
Yeah.
they have nowhere to work.
Yes, that's what you want.
And they could do independence, and then I could sign them for my new independent, the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show.
Something wrong with your voice.
Yeah,
What happened?
I was wrestling for a weekend,
Yeah, a whole weekend.
a whole weekend, 4 days, a long weekend.
Tell
I
our family.
I can't. OTT, School of Irish
Which one?
Wrestling Training Camp. Which one? We still have to talk to this fucking guy.
Forget about him.
We'll get to
Who
this.
needs him?
OTT, School of Irish Wrestling Training Camp for 3 days. Johnny Morts. It's probably why he's not here at the moment. His body is broken. It was an awesome experience. Paddy Morrow, Session Martina, Sean Maxer, Fabulous Nikki, Sammy D.
All right, yeah.
Joe Cabret, Paul Tracy.
The whole roster.
I was listening to Becky Lynch talk about Paul Tracy on her audiobook on Spotify, knowing that I was going up to train with Paul Tracy. It was class. And then on Monday night, me and you fucking got into the ropes, Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, Justy, Phil the Trill Boyd, and it was a thrill for the two of us. And I took your fucking head off, you big jobber, you.
Took my head off. Yeah. What about? Did we work 3 minutes? We'd say our match would have been out 3 minutes.
3 minutes, but broken up into two different parts where there was an extended 15-minute break.
Love it. Love it.
It was longer.
Perfect. But this Monday, piece it together and a finisher.
And a finisher. And the next podcast, hopefully, when Johnny Morts is nice and iced up, we'll discuss being wrestlers.
Anyway, back to this guy.
Back to this guy. That kind of went off into a weird tangent. AEW. Why does this suck now?
Okay. No, I'm actually surprised that Dunphy's saying it's only fallen off a cliff in the last month because you've
For
been
me.
yeah, but you've been complaining about virtually everything for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 6 months.
That's why he did say 6
He
months.
did say 6 months. Yeah. You should have watched the pay-per-view. That was awesome.
But see, even the thing about the pay-per-view is, like, I'm now done with all these dream matches. Like, you had Daniel Bryan, Will Ospreay, like fucking 17 stars or whatever. Alvarez came out afterwards and said, possibly the greatest match ever on US soil. And that turned me off even watching it. That's the level of dismay I have. I don't want what they want anymore.
You don't want the hyperbole on it, or you don't want that actual.
I'm just sick of those just bangers for bangers' sake.
I don't think that was a banger for a banger's sake, though. That's a banger to get over your new talent in North America.
It
would have been-
at the
yeah.
expense of Daniel Bryan, supposedly the greatest talent, who hasn't fucked. but
Let's
he
call
hasn't
him
won.
Brian Danielson here.
He hasn't won a. Yeah, he hasn't
He's a
won.
fucking WWE mark.
He hasn't won a match in what, like forever.
He won 6 matches on the build to it. Or 5 anyway. He won a good few matches on the build to it. I do agree he should have been protected more on pay-per-view in the build up to it if they knew in advance that they were doing.
That's the problem.
Ospreay
They don't know anything in advance.
Yeah, that's an issue with wrestling on the whole. Like, I do have
Not
a lot of
WWE
issues.
anymore. This is a big problem is that with AEW have is that a lot of people like myself who were hardcore AEW fans traveled over to Chicago to see Forbidden Door, went to London to All In, traveled for AEW.
Yeah,
I've never traveled for WWE, but now I'm kind of watching WWE going, that entertains me more. I'm more invested in some of the shit going on there than I am with AEW. But I think we all know a lot of that is what's going on behind the scenes.
What do you mean going on behind the scenes, like with
Tony Khan and the Bucks. I mean, let's just jump right into it. The reason I don't like AEW mostly is what Tony Khan is up to and what the Young Bucks are up to.
What did you think of the NFL draft weekend? I'm sure you've seen some amount of clips.
With the brace and
neck brace, interviews, all that kind of stuff.
Stupid.
If he's I don't mind it.
I liked it.
If he's going to work a neck brace, though, don't move your neck.
Don't move your head. Yeah, the very first clip I saw is him.
He's just like this. I was like, why wear a brace at all, Tony?
Yeah, why don't you go pure Michael Keaton Batman, where every turn was like?
But see, it makes no sense. This is the problem. Like,
no. The problem for AEW, in my opinion, start well before Tony Khan and the neck brace. That's a fucking. That's the 17th time a shark has been jumped, in my opinion. The fucking problems with AEW for me, genuinely stem back. I was enjoying the product, loving the product. Boom, 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 and then we had the barbed wire exploding dead match. They fucking hyped something up that they couldn't deliver on. And that has been endemic of AEW for a long fucking time.
Another reason why that's endemic is that it's a technical issue. And we forgave AEW the first couple of years as a startup and said, AEW's, they're going to get all that production shit right. It's just going to happen. It's going to happen. And we're 5 years in and the same fucking shit keeps happening.
Once again, they failed to deliver on a big promise. They failed to deliver on numerous talents that they hyped up coming in. They have, Roosh, and I forgot that he was injured. I forgot that he was there, and they're like, he's coming back from injury. And I was like, well, big fucking whoop. He'll come back for 2 weeks, and then he'll fuck off again, and no one will know where the fuck he is. And then you'll try and make him important again for another 2 weeks. And that is with the roster all over. That fucking video game. That Fight Forever video game.
That's your real problem. Is that you spend 65 quid.
No, it was fucking. I went Elite Edition. I was so looking forward to an alternative, and I have always supported an alternative to WWE. Growing up, I was a WCW guy. Went up to my grandmother's house, watched Cartoon Network because my dad didn't let me watch wrestling. Cartoon Network after 9 o'clock, it became TNT. Nitro followed by Thunder. Didn't get to see any of the pay-per-views. Watched WWE when I could. Then. When it was the only show in town, that's what you watched. Then I discovered the Wrestling Channel. And I got to see CZW, Ring of Honor, became the biggest TNA fan. Went to watch, I'd seen more live TNA events than I have WWE events. Then that falls off a fucking cliff when Hogan and stuff, and it starts becoming WWE. Then NXT's your next thing. Then NXT falls off, and then AEW is there, and now I'm at the stage.
Now you're becoming a professional wrestler yourself.
And because
if you can't get it, if you
change the industry, change the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Change the universe.
So they failed to
do it yourself. DIY.
Failed to deliver on the game. They fucking failed to deliver on all these new signings. They failed to deliver on most storylines, whether guys are just getting fucking injured and all the whole time, and failed to deliver on a CM Punk and Bucks angle and Omega, which could have been fucking amazing. And that Devil storyline is the biggest crock of shit because everybody knew it was going to be Adam Cole, and they didn't swerve us. It made it Adam fucking Cole.
Yeah, okay.
I'm happy they didn't swerve us because nothing else made sense.
Yeah, no, but the
storyline.
Yeah, but see, the storylines in AEW are always telegraphed, so it's very rare.
We're not letting this man speak.
Yeah, but
I'm just building up here.
He's taking notes.
Yeah,
He's taking notes.
This is the heat segment.
Well,
I'm
just
coming in with a hot tag
two
now
other
in a
quick
minute.
points. On that one, they always telegraph their storylines really early, and then they box themselves into a corner, and then it has to be the obvious at the end. But like the Adam Cole thing dragged on forever. But the real, like a big problem I have at the moment with AEW is I find it hard to even enjoy the things that I know a year ago might have entertained me. Like, for example, the Jack Perry thing coming in, which on paper, yeah, of course, you're going to try make an angle out of it, and it could be kind of cool. But it makes no sense because the Tony Khan CM Punk thing, that's an actual backstage thing that happened. So you're not showing that. That doesn't really exist. We got NDAs in storyline. We didn't go and make it into an angle with Kenny and Punk and whatever, include Young Bucks if you want for All In.
Are they not trying to do that now though?
But it's too late. It's too late. Like, why try it now if you refuse to do it when all the money was on the table for All In?
Because everyone's going to play nice.
No, it's because they're trying to get Punk back, kind of. That's the way I see it.
Well, I think though it makes sense for Jack Perry returning as the scapegoat. It's not about CM Punk as such. That's just a vehicle for Jack Perry's new character.
Who the fuck wants to see Jack Perry?
I like Jack Perry.
No,
Of course
I like Jack Perry. you know?
Why? Okay, here's your mic time. Why do you like Jack Perry?
Is it because he does? I hate CM Punk.
You hate CM
I don't
Punk?
hate CM Punk. I absolutely loved CM Punk, and now I just think he's the biggest hypocrite since probably Hulk Hogan. He's just constantly pulling out liars on people. He's supposed to be CM Punk, like Punk is in his name.
He is Punk.
That's what he's doing.
You know what? Punk goes straight to their solicitors and say, I don't want to do the job to John Moxley on Dynamite. Get the solicitors in. That's not Punk.
Did he not job to John Moxley on Dynamite?
Yeah, he brought the solicitors in first.
In 5 minutes.
In 3 minutes even.
Yeah, that seems like...
And he never saw the Rocky movies.
That seems pretty Punk.
That's not Punk. He brought solicitors in. I'm not getting in. You did this last week, and it was awesome. So fair play to you. I don't even know where to go back to now because...
Okay.
Oh, sorry. We're on the storyline.
Jack Perry.
The storyline. Yeah, like... They're using the Punk thing, footage and all that, as a vehicle to bring Jack Perry back. In my mind, it makes sense because after the original Brawl Out, that was the first one, wasn't it? Then Brawl In.
Mm-hmm.
Brawl Out, yeah. Bucks got suspended for X amount of time as well as Punk.
Yeah.
So, like, it would make sense to me that they would harbour ill will towards Tony and then they kind of side with Jack Perry on the later suspension. So they're tied together by that. I know, like, now I'm probably telling the storyline better than AEW are telling the story.
That's the problem. Man.
Yeah, no.
Boom. Fell off a cliff. Thanks for listening to the rest of
the show. He's a better. But yeah, I think like they're tied together by that mutual thing of they both got screwed over by Tony, who apparently, you know, he's the biggest mark ever. So he's backstage chanting CM Punk on Punk's return. And
that's embarrassing.
That is
just
so
thinking about that right now.
I don't think that's embarrassing. That's a fan.
Yeah, but that's what he is.
Yeah, but he's running the company.
He's a fan.
Yeah, but you
who
can
likes,
be a fan who runs the fucking company.
Yeah, should you be chanting CM Punk on his return?
Should the owner of fucking Liverpool celebrate when a goal goes in?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the same.
Point.
It's the same fucking
It's not
thing.
the same point. If he's booking, he shouldn't be booking, is what I'm saying.
Who'd book though? And
Like anyone, I don't know, Jerry Lynn, whoever the fuck.
I don't think he shouldn't be booking. I think
His booking's appalling.
Oh, it's not appalling.
it started off.
patchy.
There was
It's
a lot of
patchy.
fucking promise, right? Yeah. But the problem, in my opinion, it's very erratic. It stems back to this hiring process that he's had, where he's brought in a significant amount of wrestlers. He's tried to hotshot everything at the start, and then forgets about him. Everyone hears about Vince McMahon's favorite toy. That's what Tony has. He's a flavor of the fucking month.
Punk was the flavour of the month.
Punk was the flavour of the month. Swerve is the flavour of the fucking month. Samoa Joe is the flavour of the month. All these people, he brings them in, and then they eventually, they might fuck off for a while. Like Miro, how many times has he come and gone?
Yeah, but I don't think their world champion has ever been the issue. I think at the tippy top of the card, the world champ is generally
they've got it right
okay.
most.
I think MJF was a massive issue.
I know he's run the booking, but him being the champ was right. Like
At the time,
he had
at
to
the
time,
make
yeah.
him the
It
champ.
probably went on too long, and then a lot of MJF problems stemmed from actually like they did this thing with Adam Cole that was probably supposed to be a short run thing. Then
Doing anything with Adam Cole, I think, is silly.
Yeah, those vignettes went like bonkers, and I hated them. I know you hated them as well.
Which
like
ones?
the best friends
When
going to the gym and all that.
playing video games and
Playing video
That stuff.
games.
camera angles where camera angles shouldn't be. Doing WWE shit.
No,
And
You're meant to be the alternative.
that's exactly when I started.
that's when it started to go really badly wrong.
How long is that? So that's longer than 6 months.
No, that was like that was the
August.
build up to All In. So
Yeah.
let's say like June, July.
Yeah, that's how long.
Last
It's
year?
nearly a year actually.
You have your main event at Wembley Stadium.
They should have been nipped in the bud right there.
In the pre-show, doing a tag team match.
That was stupid.
You know, you wouldn't have that with Rock and Austin.
You had it with Roman and Rock the night before.
Probably had it.
Yeah, the
with
night
Rock.
before, but not that. And that was the main event of a night one. I'm talking about
I don't know,
pre-show.
you go back to Sunday Night Heat in '99. Stone Cold and The Rock were all over that.
Yeah, but tag team in a
Not tag teaming
match.
together, no, not
Yeah.
together. Yeah,
Tag team together and then have a main event
Yeah. Like
at their biggest show ever.
if that storyline ended there and they cut out all the WWE stuff that was associated with that storyline, and it created this like really weird disconnect with the rest of their own product, where the main event title was becoming this sports entertainment thing, and the rest of the show was still being presented as
which
more
is what
legitimate wrestling.
you would say about Cody as well, wouldn't you? There was the disconnect between Cody's style of wrestling and
In
that's what I was
AEW.
saying. When
you had the Codyverse memes at the time.
But when you were talking about the booking not always being as bad, I also think that a lot of that was because the EVPs had more say and pull in their own versions of what was going on.
And they were also being presented more front and center of the show.
Yeah, and it worked up to a point.
But you know why they were presented as front and center? Because there was probably a lot more room on the roster to be presented.
But also Kenny was coming in as the suit the Terminator. Cody was doing his own thing, sports entertainment, whatever, but storyline based and driven. He wanted to get that as the focal point. And the Bucks trying to make tag team wrestling the most important thing about it. So like you had all this stuff going on, which is all cool shit added together. And at some point along the way, that fell off for a load of reasons.
Cody left.
CM Punk.
Cody left.
Not CM Punk. Punk was well off.
Left. Cody didn't like the direction it was going in. There was all talks of Tony Khan becoming more involved, taking away fucking creativity and storylines from the actual talent.
Well, Cody did do the whole Anthony Ogogo thing. I think somebody needed to step in at that point.
Yeah,
and say,
you could 100%. That was a terrible.
Yeah.
But when you look at Cody's other fucking feuds,
he's some of the best feuds in the company.
Cody fucking established MJF.
No, we're not getting into this. We had a whole Cody episode about.
But this is
Darby Allin. Sammy Guevara. You know,
Eddie Kingston. He brought him in.
Cody did great things there. But I will stand for Cody slander. He's just like his promo style.
I think,
eventually it starts. There is this fucking tipping point where it doesn't become as logical as it used to be.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, and then you see, oh fuck, we're going to make this match important. It's a new title. Yeah. We're going to make this. We're going to make these matches important by saying it's a tournament.
Yeah.
We're going to make this match important. It's a battle royal, and the winner gets to face this person. Or we'll do a tag team battle royal, and you're just kind of like.
I suppose there was always. Can
you not just write a fucking story, and that makes the match important? But that's why CM Punk's feuds with Eddie Kingston was good. That's why CM Punk's feud with MJF was good. They were allowed to tell a fucking story over a long time. But also, that's why Danielson and Ospreay, in my opinion. It was a great match. It's not going to stand out in your mind forever because it doesn't have the moments in it that are telegraphed in via stories.
But Punk stuff
I like that story, but you go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the Punk stuff worked because Punk clearly had 100% Hogan-esque say over what his storylines were going to be and how they would go about it. The funny thing about Punk is a lot of the reasons Punk has left, he kind of was beginning to become a little bit of a representation of all the shit that was going on in my head about why I didn't really like AEW at the time. And everything he's manifested or said was manifesting on the screen in front of you. And then Punk was booted or left or whatever. And it's left this big gap where I'm like, oh yeah, Punk was right all along. Like I think he's justified in practically everything he said. The way he went about it obviously wasn't fucking ideal. If you're an employee of a company, you should have a certain way of dealing with things. But I don't think he's been wrong in absolutely anything. And I think AEW are really struggling now to get the fan to trust it again. And I don't trust it.
And I know you laugh about the Fight Forever game and stuff. That stems from that shit. That stems from Tony saying, we have the biggest announcement in AEW history. And it's not the biggest announcement in AEW history. You're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know?
To go back to the Ospreay Danielson
failing
match,
to deliver
is what I loved about it was they did tell a simple story, and the story itself was based around wrestling. We have two guys claiming I'm the best wrestler in the world. No, I'm the best wrestler.
But they've already done that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
With Kenny and Danielson.
That's a story as old as time. The Danielson Kenny one was different.
No, I mean, and I liked it. Like, I loved the Danielson Kenny one. Like, I absolutely loved it at the time. But it's just, we're recycling. It's always the same. It's like, let's go to that. Who's the best wrestler? Let's not think of something creative or something cool. Like wrestling is, wrestling and entertainment.
What do you do though with Ospreay and Danielson as a storyline that isn't?
You make Danielson jealous of Ospreay and you make him fucking, or whatever. Just make something extra.
I think that was the storyline.
Bryan Danielson, right? He comes in.
Spills coffee on Ospreay.
I love that. Love it.
He comes in at the same time around CM Punk and Adam Cole, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. Same night as Adam
Cole. Same night as Adam Cole.
2 weeks after Punk.
It's 2 weeks after Punk, right? Ospreay's coming in with all this massive fanfare. Bryan is seeing that. Bryan's been like, what? I've been here how many years? And they've never made this big of a deal about me. Why didn't you make a big deal about me? You know?
To who though? They don't have an authority figure.
Yeah, but why wasn't it?
They do have an
Tony Khan's just after getting...
He was on telly last week. Yeah.
Why wasn't a big deal, mate? And he's showing his jealousy towards Will Ospreay. He's never won the IWGP World Heavyweight title, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, but
you know,
like...
there's a story. How dare... And then he comes out, kicks the fuck out.
But they told the story of like one-upping each other through the matches with Shibata and big men and
Shibata's there.
Styles.
Like, what the fuck is Shibata doing?
He's half a brand. He's actually there with
all those New Japan guys just come in and job out and then
why was Will Ospreay signing special? Because he was in AEW already. So was Okada. Okada was in AEW at Forbidden Door.
It's special in the way they were presented. Like the two of them have been like, because the whole last pay-per-view would have been a complete disaster without both of those signings. Like, you think their Hangman's out of commission?
Would it?
I think so, yeah.
All right. You're talking about Hangman's out of commission.
Yeah,
MJF's out. Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa's back.
Jamie Hayter.
They had Edge in a 6-man.
Yeah, I know. They would have redesigned it.
They had Jay White in the pre-show.
Yeah, he would have been bumped to the main card.
You had Mark Briscoe, who's your new Ring of Honor champion, in that 6-man with Eddie Kingston. They're just been used to be thrown. They're like, we have so much talent, let's throw them on the fucking card. If you had, like, in fairness, the way they developed
Aleister Black, no singles matches.
Yeah, the way
whose decision is that? That has to be something to do with him.
I don't know.
The way they
it's so weird.
Like the way they developed Swerve.
Yeah,
is amazing.
That's been brilliant.
That's the way that they need
up until Wednesday after the pay-per-view.
Well, there's reasons for why they bumped it to Saturday.
But they had him fighting him. You had him in a match.
I know. Yeah, just came out, do a match, and then
nonsense.
Goes 50-50 with Kyle Fletcher.
Goes 50 with Kyle Fletcher.
Like a massive fan,
and it's not even the main event.
And Kyle Fletcher's on 5 on AEW TV this year.
And I think he's a great talent.
He's brilliant. Like, he just didn't need to go 50-50.
When we were watching Aussie Open in OTT, I remember thinking that guy is going to.
Yeah, he's like 25 as well.
But not only do you have Copeland, Briscoe, and Jay White, who were all brought in the last year or so. You have the likes of Hobbs, who I know is injured now.
He was there for the pay-per-view, though.
You had Wardlow. You know what I mean?
I don't want to see Wardlow.
Yeah, but like, I personally do. I think he'd be fucking... He would... In WWE, he would now, under this regime... And I even thought under previous regime,
it's
he
would
have been
fit for him.
He would have been treated like a star. You have Big Bill there. You have Ricky fucking Starks there.
Yeah.
You have all these people that are just like been hot. Big Bill and Ricky Starks were tag team champions how long ago?
6 weeks? 7 weeks?
What the fuck are they doing now?
Don't know.
Exactly.
Like so. To go back, you mentioned Roosh earlier.
Yeah,
I absolutely love
needs a bit of speaking time.
Roosh,
I love
Penta,
he needs a bit of speaking time.
Benito.
There's like, and you mentioned two of the things that I have major issues with. I'm supposed to be the defender here.
Yeah, no, I'm going to let you defend because I feel it's a bit too on one attack.
You know, it's fine. So like, I have some major issues with the product still. I do think it's turned around dramatically since latter half of 2023. But my biggest issues are someone like Roosh. Now I know there's visa issues and injuries and all this that come into play that can't be foreseen, but like, or even Daniel Garcia. Actually, I'll use Daniel Garcia as the example. Daniel Garcia was in a really cool storyline with Edge, Copeland, and Christian Cage a month ago.
Yeah.
And it was all about the TNT title, him and Edge chasing for the TNT title. Edge goes ahead, wins title, and then Daniel Garcia has just been doing nothing since. Like, that guy needs follow-up. He is awesome. His mic work has improved dramatically. He's unbelievable in the ring.
Thanks to Jericho.
Thanks to Jericho. Yeah, he's a sports entertainer. And he just never got that follow-up. Roosh doesn't get the follow-up. So you have all these super talents.
Bandito.
Visa issues again. And an injury.
Visa issues all the time.
Yeah. And
what we kind of need though is what are the reasons why it's not falling off cliff edge?
Yeah,
like, I'll get to that. Let me go through the things that annoy me first.
Okay.
The other thing, and you mentioned it earlier as well, is here's another title Like, you have a problem there now is who is the next, like, in your face, number one contender for Swerve?
Hangman.
He's out. Like, who's ready for Double or Nothing next
Do you know
month?
what we need? A tournament.
We need a tournament. We need an eliminator. We need a tournament.
Like, if you didn't have a TNT title on Copeland, an international title on Okada, no, it's not even TNT on Copeland. What's on Copeland?
No, Copeland's the TNT title.
Yeah, TNT,
Okada has the Continental title.
Yeah.
What was the one that Cassidy had?
The international.
Is that still a thing?
That's the Okada title. No,
that's
the
Okada.
Sorry. Oh, Roddy Strong has the international title.
sorry.
Roddy Strong has the international, right? You also have Eddie Kingston with the IWGP or the NJ, the Strong title.
Briscoe.
You have all the Ring of Honor titles, which is the women's, men's. The six man is now actually connected with the
Ring
trio.
of Honor six man.
With the,
you have John Moxley showing up with the IWGP heavyweight title.
you have the FTW title.
You got the Owen Hart Cup.
You have the women's title and the TBS title.
There was 5 or 6 men's singles title on the last Dynamite, but you don't have a contender for Swerve. Like, and the Double or Nothing is in like 5 or 6 weeks, but they don't want to do Ospreay now, but they've blown the load on him because
Claudio.
no, they done that on telly on Saturday
Exactly.
night. Yeah,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
like, here's my issue is if Okada wasn't carrying a Continental title, or if Copeland wasn't carrying a TNT title. Oh, they're perfect.
No, they're not though, because you're feeding them to Swerve.
Is Ospreay
people have
still
to
in?
lose, though.
Is
Yeah.
Ospreay
Like, you
still
can-
in the Hobbs or the Don Callis family?
Well, that's
tease it.
clearly the next story.
this is another problem.
What they could do then is just Callis says,
That's what they should do.
here's your number one contender, and they look at Ospreay and they go,
That's Wembley.
Hobbs, yeah,
and then let Hobbs
Hobbs
go.
Hobbs is injured.
Oh, is he out?
Yeah, his knee injury.
You're gonna have Ospreay, I think, and Swerve at Wembley all in. I think that's your main event.
Yeah.
But that's another fucking thing, right? Is Ospreay with Don Callis? Don Callis is a heel. Ospreay's a face. Is that not what Willow's doing with Stokely?
Yes.
Is there there's
they're
heels
jumping across the heel face divide, left,
the
right,
fuck?
and centre.
And then you have Adam Cole, and he's doing his fucking video game podcast, and you're just like,
And he's the nicest guy in the world.
yeah, and he's meant to be this evil fucking prick, with the Undisputed Kingdom with fucking who the fuck is Taven and fucking Kanellis?
I like them as a tag team, actually.
Ah, no, I don't give a fuck.
I don't need them weekly on Dynamite.
What happened to Dutch and the other fucking lad that used to?
Click. I like them.
Yeah, I like them. The Righteous.
Yeah.
Where the fuck
they were deadly.
Where are they?
They were deadly.
Where's Jay Lethal and the fucking big dude and Jeff Jarrett
need to
now?
see
They
again.
were, but they were fucking pushed Sanjay Dutt for
Oh my God,
ages.
they're on TV.
kind
Couldn't
of-
get them off TV.
Jeff Hardy.
Well, Mark Briscoe vanquished him on an episode of Collision.
It's like Jeff Hardy. You're like,
I don't need to see him either. You know.
But they're bringing in all these people and they're like, oh, look at my new shiny toy. Oh, fuck that. No, look at this. Just to try and bump ratings, and none of it's coherent, and it's all a fucking mess.
And then they'll push guys that, like, the Bounty Hunter guy is on it a lot. What's his name?
Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane Taylor.
Oh, Shane Taylor.
No, Keith something.
Brian Keith.
Brian Keith.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Brian Keith. And
Like,
I don't know enough
do you
about
know
Brian
what?
Keith. Why is he on telly all the time?
I hear people
He was
complaining.
against Joe, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did Joe, and he did Mark Briscoe, and he did a few others. But he's grand enhancement talent. He can have a decent 7-minute match with someone on TV, just like you can nearly have a decent 3-minute match with Shane.
Yeah, but see, and that's another thing is all this 50-50 booking and all these guys going all the way to the end of the bell with Kyle Fletcher with Swerve.
If Kyle Fletcher had been 5-1 over the last 2 months, and then he goes almost 50-50 with Swerve, you're like,
yeah,
great, here's a future world champion. He's a bit young yet. He doesn't
But
quite
if you're an enhancement talent, you should, or if you're just an undercard guy, 2 minutes, 3 minutes squash. Where's all these 5-minute squashes?
Where's the cheating?
Wardlow was doing that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you need to go.
And then Wardlow piss off, and then it'll be Miro doing that stuff. And then it'll be, Wardlow's back and Miro's gone.
Give him a bit of shine, but you don't make him go
you don't
10,
go
12, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a long
Moxley
time.
was doing it the whole time as well.
It's nonsense.
See, and also the problem there is, right, you get Brian Keith, right, and I'm sure he's a very good wrestler, blah, blah, blah. But
I'm sure he's a nice guy. Brian, I'm sure you're a nice guy. This isn't on you. I don't know why. You're just the example.
But when they told the story of the emergence of Garcia with JS and Wheeler getting into the Blackpool Combat Club, they stood out because they were going almost 50-50 with the Moxleys, the Danielson, and
But
all
they're
this
also
kind of stuff.
young.
But the difference there was other squash matches happening on the show at the time. So you seen other young guys getting
Annihilated.
squashed, and then you see these two young guys going, "Oh, there's something different about these. They're not job guys."
So like,
What's good about AEW?
Yeah, like how is the? We brought in an AEW fan,
And all I've done is complain about
to
AEW.
defend it. Like, what are you? Have we just?
I'll go on one more issue. Can I do one more issue before I defend it? Yeah. So, did you like?
No, I kind of from everyone shitting on AEW. I want to defend it now.
I like good things, let's say.
That's
I have a lot of good things. I just wanted to get the negativity out first. I've been sat at home all day.
Oh no, I'm not even
about,
halfway past the negativity.
All right, I'll do one more negative thing, and I'll probably think of a few more later. Like, there's recently a lot more, I find, hot shotting of major angles on TV. Being like, clearest example obviously is Tony taking the TK driver or the Meltzer driver, as it used to be known. Like, I think what's happening there is, and it drives me mad because that's not something I like. I don't like the hot shot. I like a more of a slow build story, more so than I think probably either of you two do. And I like more subtle stories, but some subtle stories that are so subtle, sometimes you don't even know they're happening.
Yeah, because we don't like subtle stories, Dump.
No,
we like fast, fucking in your face stuff.
Yeah.
That's
we tell a story in 2 minutes.
That's why Dunphy loves Cody, isn't it?
Yeah, I just love.
Cody has grown on me a lot in the last 5. When did Rumble happen? From Rumble on,
since our debate.
Cody's. It has gone in direct.
Cody Rhodes is great. Changed my mind. Boom.
it worked. Like this hot shot of angles. Like, I know at the moment now they're in the middle of negotiations with WBD over the new TV deal. So I think they're like hot shotting to try and like keep ratings at a certain place and so on.
It's not going to work.
The hot shot, I don't think the hot shot will work, but I also think like the ratings, just the way that whole side of things is gone.
They need Hogan.
They don't need Hogan.
Hogan and Bischoff come and save the day.
Save it.
Imagine that.
Get the band back together.
If you got Hogan and Bischoff in
Nasty Boys
to run
Nasty Boys.
the company in Tony's absence, and they side with the Bucks.
No, look, this is what logic I think would have dictated at the time. They had too many shows. They had too many wrestlers. They didn't have Rampage and Collision at this time. They had Dark and Elevation.
Yeah.
Use fucking Dark as your not just for your squashes. Use it as a proper. Get someone else to fucking book it. Actual book the fucking show. Have one of your fucking titles, one of your many titles, just there, and that's where you start developing.
Your main event on Dark is this whatever secondary title every 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah, but like that's where you start developing your undercard, and that's when you go, okay. These are like, and I mean proper.
But they were doing that.
They
really were. I used to watch a lot of Dark.
Yeah, but a lot of the time it was a lot of squash matches as well.
Yeah, you'd have
what I'm saying is, right.
But I did the timestamps to be there, and I'd actually just skip to the matches that I want to skip to.
And then that's where the acclaim came from. And yeah.
No, they were doing a lot of fucking enhancement or jobber stuff. I mean, like, use it as...
That was Dark Elevation came then, and that was major enhancement.
That was 7 3-minute matches.
But you had an online, and I still think this is a major way people make money from fucking YouTube. Have a proper fucking wrestling show just dedicated to YouTube, not NWA, just with the production value of AEW, they could have done something very, very fucking
But Dark
cool with
did
Dark.
have stories.
But then, but what I'm saying is treat it as a proper fucking, like your B show. Like your NXT. Treat it like NXT.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Treat it like NXT. Then you have Rampage. You have an hour of quality television every fucking week to be able to get all these characters that you have in something interesting. And they started doing that, and then they failed. They're
still doing that. It's just not enough people watch it.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's because it fell off.
But that being taped didn't help as well. Taped and it being on a Friday night. I think that
Friday night, 10 o'clock or whatever time. Yeah, it's never going to do.
But I would have arguably probably just tried to almost keep it separate from Dynamite, and then Collision as well. Collision, no, don't. You have so many wrestlers. Don't do a soft roster split. Do a proper fucking roster split. And then create your fucking drama that way as well in the future.
I don't like the idea of hard split. I hate it in WWE. I hate the draft.
No, I loved it initially in WWE. I loved
like SmackDown 6 and all that.
I loved single brand pay-per-views. I thought that was great because you were seeing fucking proper tag teams and stuff. You had La Resistance, and you were seeing all these, like, because they had to call people up, and they had to give people a chance. Now, they weren't the greatest of times, but I feel with the talent that is about now, the amount of people that you're going to get shining, and then you have Ring of Honor then to throw in on top of that.
That's a big problem.
And Tony was doing all the fucking this, and then we wonder why things are getting fucking forgotten about, left out, and muddled, and then someone gets injured, and that's even worse. And then people just completely drop off.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
His plans are so set in stone that when an injury comes in, that he has no backup, no B plan. He can't readjust. Because this person is linked to this person, and then this happens. Just
and then he also doesn't have the experience of television production, which, while there has been detrimental stuff with sound and the way it looks, but the actual presentation to make somebody special. You know, it's completely different.
There are people who are special though, and like, the thing is, you can't make everyone special.
Yeah, but like, look at the way Jade Cargill is presented in WWE to where she was presented in AEW, and AEW.
Jade Cargill was presented as a world beater in AEW.
I was about to say it.
Visuals.
Yeah, she looks incredible now. Not that she didn't look incredible then, but.
The entrance and so on.
I thought our entrance was class in AEW.
But see what they did at WrestleMania was insane.
And then he's with Stoke, and then she's with Stoke Hatley, and then there's all these different people around her and stuff. And his idea of getting her over is just throwing her into squash matches.
Yeah, but she did get over. She did get over.
Yeah, I think that's a fallacy that she didn't.
I think that's
by the AEW fans, they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Do you think so?
I'm an AEW fan. I enjoyed it.
People were shitting all over it
at the start,
calling her shit. She's a shit wrestler.
If we're talking about problems, so not all of AEW's problems are their own making. There's also a lot of negativity from
there's a cottage industry of
loser fans on Twitter who hate stuff.
And on podcasts.
You're not the problem here.
Like,
there's a whole industry of podcasts that make
there was like Botchamania was a bit of crack when it was out, but then there's like these sinister botch kind of stuff where they actually want people to get hurt, like horrible pricks online.
Yeah, all this stuff about that. If you had a performance center,
and what that created was all these scumbag, horrible AEW fans fighting back, and then it became an absolute toxic cesspit.
Actually, like, Twitter is just a complete disaster when it comes to wrestling now.
But I don't think that helped as well. I think there was a lot of people who wanted it to fail for some bizarre reason. Not the wrestlers, obviously, but a lot of this.
I don't want it to fail. I just wanted it to be better.
And I want it to be better too. I also want WWE to
But did it fall off a cliff? That's what we're...
Okay, right. Did it fall off a cliff?
Come on, you get into the fucking defending the indefensible here.
Right, let's get into
this. This just seems like an AEW rag fucking time. We're just
it'll do more views, apparently, if you just bash it. That's what people say.
AEW sucks. AEW fucking sucks.
Watch our show.
Yeah, Tony Khan. Go fuck yourself. It's a shit show.
And then do another sound clip for AEW's awesome. Put them both.
AEW puts WWE to fucking shame.
It's where the best wrestle.
Triple H would only wish that he had Tony Khan instead of Nick Khan beside him. I am telling you. WrestleMania is nothing without Vince McMahon now. It's
controversial.
Yeah, I fucking know. I don't know. WWE's in a hot period. It's good now. AEW's in a ship. They've made Edge uninteresting. They've made every...
I actually think he's more interesting than he was in WWE.
I never enjoyed
I found him terrible in his last run in WWE.
That's AEW.
Like that Randy Orton stuff. What was it? The greatest match of all time? Or whatever
ridiculous.
That was absolutely...
Yeah, that's a Vince fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right? But Finn Balor and
Drew... I thought this guy's meant to be...
Shut the fuck up, Dumphy, right? Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre, 3 years ago, you would have gone...
They should go.
They could go to AEW. Yeah. Kevin Owens, I remember when he signed again with WWE, I was like, for fuck's sake. He gets a main event against Stone Cold. And even at that time, I was like, you'd probably have more fun in AEW. It probably would have been better. You and Sammy in AEW, you'd fucking rip it up. And then when I heard of Drew and Finn possibly going to AEW, I was like, no. They're going to fuck. You're going to mean nothing. You're going to mean nothing so soon. And you think, I'm not the only one noticing it. If you're in fucking WWE, like they've both re-signed, you're looking over going, what the fuck happened with Edge? What the fuck happened with Brett? Like, as much as you want to say about Bryan Danielson, like,
he's on the run of his career.
What the fuck happened with Miro? What the fuck happened with Andrade? Hey, Andrade, you know the way you're back. What the fuck happened over there?
What's happening with him now?
Hey, Punk, actually. Yeah, Cody.
Like, Andrade is
I think Andrade and
His
Miro are,
return has been
probably two
good.
guys who don't really want to wrestle that much.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think so. Yeah, and they definitely
and
don't
Malachi-
want to lose.
And
Yeah, I don't think.
Malachi is a curious case. I don't know what's going on.
Why isn't
there.
he in singles
Yeah,
matches?
but Danielson, I disagree. I think Danielson is exactly where he wants to be.
And I think it's where I think it's where he
I
should
would
be.
imagine.
So I don't
know. It was probably where he wanted to be when Vince was in charge.
No, I still think it's where he wants to be. He can go down to CMLL. He can go off to New Japan. He can ring Tony and say, "Hey, there's some obscure Chilean wrestler who hasn't wrestled since 1997. Will you pay him a lot of money to come here and wrestle me?"
Yeah,
and Tony will say yes.
That's a problem.
No,
But,
that's
okay.
not a problem. That's awesome.
That's a
Do
problem.
you know what's not a problem?
Paying fucking how much for Final Countdown for one night?
Do you know what's not a
That's
problem?
deadly. Like
I enjoy
the same way.
Did you not like that?
That's
I did.
brilliant.
I did.
Yeah, everyone like that. You have to like that.
You have to there's some
But
things.
you know what?
Okay, let's
you
talk
know-
about the good stuff. Like
you know
there's
what? You know
some
what's also-
class
you know
things.
what's
Mr. Canter. Is that how you
Exactly.
pronounce it? Like that's awesome.
He paid
Amazing.
a lot of money
That
for
couldn't
Mark
happen in
Briscoe's. Mark Briscoe playing the Leonard Skinner song in Ring of Honor.
He did, yeah.
And the same
in Ring
week,
of Honor, like 5,000 people watched the show.
in the same week, he fired people for budget cuts.
yeah.
I
But just keep paying.
You gotta
You're
get
like
5,000
Johnny, isn't
somewhere.
he?
He does need to do a budget, or not budget.
Oh, he
cuts.
needs to cull it, like
that
the
roster of
because he
people.
doesn't know what the fuck to do with him.
But like,
Poor
one
boys,
of the
the
best
boys.
things is the music. Like, paying the money for music. It
I think it's
creates
great.
unbelievable.
And WWE
moments.
started to do a little bit then.
Yeah, of course they had to react like.
Yeah.
Who?
Like
With
Final
who?
Countdown, brilliant.
What's been WWE started to do it?
So, who they brought in
They brought in someone recently and they've played
a real song.
at Mania. Was there not a real song played?
It was a real
Yeah,
song.
the Rhea Ripley song.
Yeah.
Is that the real one?
Yeah, but like they've
No, there
WWE
was-
been doing that for years.
no,
not
but there
that
was
often,
there
though.
was
Fucking Motorhead, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, like that's 20 years.
Fucking Kid Rock did a fucking full concert at WrestleMania 25.
But they hadn't been doing it in years and
Singing
years.
Sweet Home Alabama, all WrestleMania.
I hate the concerts at WrestleMania. I always have.
That fucking Flow Rider coming out.
Yeah.
Hey, I
20
heard
minutes in
you
the middle of
were
the
a
show.
wild one. Just fucking wrestle.
yeah. It's so
Like
bad.
we're not the target audience for Flow Right.
No one is the target audience
yeah,
for
sure.
that.
But, and like I don't think it would have been controversial to say WWE fell off a cliff in those times too. And you wait and you still watch.
But they had
Like,
NXT.
You're still waiting for fucking
No,
more.
but even they didn't have NXT all the time.
No, but
They're still waiting for those moments. And I think wrestling needs to create moments. And because AEW is so fixated on creating banger matches, you don't get those amazing moments like Shawn Michaels saying, "I'm sorry, I love you." Super kick. Like Bailey and fucking Sasha at NXT Brooklyn. You don't get
I
those.
think AEW has had a few of those moments.
They've had great
yeah.
moments. They've had that moment
Cody
where
Dustin.
Yeah, when there's a story, that's what I'm saying. But when you're focused,
Hangman Matt Jackson.
when you're focusing on Hangman
Matt
Matt Jackson, what?
When Hangman was
Oh
about
wait, when
to,
he was going, when he didn't help him with the buckshot, they never fucking followed up
no,
on it.
not that he didn't help.
He didn't stop. He didn't stop.
And he's
Yeah.
talking about Matt Jackson's a no for me.
That was obviously going to be.
Like,
that was awesome. At
He
the time.
defeated Kenny, and the Young Bucks were going to interfere. No, you got that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same as the
Yeah.
"Sorry, I love
Those
you." It's the
fuckers.
exact
No,
same thing.
Matt
no.
Jackson.
Yes, it is. I'm not saying it's as good.
That's the same.
I'm not saying it's as good.
Ah.
It's the same premise. It's the same premise.
So they stole it. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
Anything with
Yeah,
Matt
100%.
Jackson is terrible. Like,
No,
fucking
he's not the
Matt
best
Jackson-
actor in the world.
He's
He's
a
not the
horrific
best
No,
actor.
no, listen to what this man just said. Matt Jackson stopping Adam Hangman Page from hitting a box shot lariat or not
It was
stopping.
the same.
Sorry,
It was the same.
Matt Jackson not stopping. Right, we start again. Matt Jackson not stopping. This is what this man said. Matt Jackson not stopping
Yeah.
Adam Hangman Page from hitting a buckshot lariat
was the same.
on Kenny Omega was the exact same
It's the exact same.
as Shawn Michaels saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," just
That's a
before he
great
super kicks Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24.
Just as
and
meaningful for me.
And retired. Just as
It's not
meaningful.
just as meaningful. It's
Just
not-
as meaningful.
No, it's obviously not as good. Like that's iconic. We're picking the most iconic thing out of 40 WrestleManias. You know?
I would say it's the
okay, here, let's some positive stuff because I think there is some positive stuff. The Sting run. Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Didn't
Yeah.
put anyone over.
WWE couldn't have done that.
I
Didn't
don't
put
think
anyone
you
over.
don't always
Get
need to put
fucked.
someone over. You don't always
He's
need to put someone
29 and all.
Do you know?
No, you don't believe this. You told me that you enjoyed that run.
Do you know who he
No,
put
be
over?
honest.
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin.
He put over Darby
Put
Allin.
over Darby.
After-
Darby is way bigger because of Sting.
After Cody did.
Yeah, well, Cody let him win, but I
was
think like
missing one thing.
in terms of presentation.
It was
Darby
missing a bit
and
of Luger near the end.
No, you know what was
saw him on
missing?
Twitter. He should have been on
You
television.
know what
be
was
on like
genuinely what I thought was missing? Darby turning on Sting.
No.
No, you're
Darby is,
fed
you
brand
can't
right
turn
there,
Darby.
no.
You can't,
No,
he's
no.
unturnable
Yeah,
at the
Darby's such a legend. Like,
Yeah, right. Think about it, right? I've thought about this a lot.
moment.
no,
Here
here we
comes
go. Here we
booking
go.
fucking
Right,
Shane.
Here we go.
right, rebooking. Darby turns on Sting, right? And now Darby starts using Heelys coming down to the ring instead of a skateboard.
Right, I'm actually.
Comes down, he's dressed
I don't
in.
hate this.
Yeah, he's coming down in Heelys. He takes off the gun. No, sure, he has that fucking claw on his head now as well.
Yeah, you can never turn him. No.
Oh no, you can. He wears like he starts dressing in like feather boas.
have to
He
stop.
goes back to the original surfers thing.
He'd have
He's
to
not a
refuse-
skateboarder,
yeah.
no, he's a surfer.
No, he's a heelier.
You'd have to refuse to take bumps. That's number one thing you'd have to do. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Unless,
can't, you
yeah,
can't
but
be a bit
I'd like-
a
I
heel
got-
and take
He
those
got hit
bumps.
by a fucking bus the other day.
After breaking his foot, so he couldn't climb Mount Everest. Like that man, I love that man. I do.
He's such a
I
legend.
hope he's all Darby. If you're listening,
Yeah.
bro,
And I know you are.
you should have turned on Sting. I mean, I hope you're okay.
I was watching this YouTube series of a guy doing rebooking all of AEW on TEW 2020.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
game. So there's a YouTube series. Guy books everything from the start, and one of the first things he did was had Darby turn Sting. I had to turn it off. I was like, "That's a stupid idea." Sting,
It's not. It's great.
Darby
No,
got
it's a terrible
over
idea.
more by
We could
that
think about
association.
His
think
dad.
about think
It's
about
his dad, like, because he's
Yeah.
wrestling dad.
think
yeah.
about. We could have had a 2023 version of Vampiro and Sting.
No.
And we love
Sting
we
wouldn't-
love Vampiro and Sting.
No, Sting it was a tag team.
Right, what else did
perfect.
they get right? Women's division.
It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. They brought in some like hard hitters, Jamie Hayter's deadly, Athena when she comes up from Ring of Honor.
Rio.
You're just going to get just one person, and she gets over with the live audience, even though I don't know how. I can't watch her, but like she does get over in the arenas. Jamie Hayter's class. Tony Storm
Where the fuck's Britt Baker?
injured.
Right. I like Britt.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like
there's
that too.
no women's division is a disaster there.
It's not a total disaster. It was a disaster.
It's not much better.
It's better. It is
Like,
better.
they-
There's
where's
no-
Soraya?
Tony Storm is great.
Where's Soraya?
Yeah.
Who's the TBS champ?
She's rubbish.
Willow.
PBS champ.
Willow.
Oh, she won it,
the other
win it.
night, yeah.
I suppose I enjoyed the.
Or an undetermined
Julia
point in
Hart.
the
Yeah,
past.
I enjoyed Julia
That
Hart.
was a good run. And like they set up now for the Willow Mercedes thing, that looks interesting.
Why is Mercedes going for the TBS time?
Mercedes is a terrible signing.
I don't think she's terrible signing. I just think, do you know what? We had this conversation before she signed, and
I knew it wouldn't work. I met
You
her in the
knew it-
airport
you-
after All In.
you spoke to her.
I didn't
She-
speak to her.
you
I
said-
saw her and I saw her leg. She was in a wheelchair being
And you
pushed by
said,
her minder.
"This
Oh
isn't
yeah,
gonna work."
I met Becky in an airport.
Was
Well,
she
I
in
met
a wheelchair being
Mercedes.
pushed by a reminder?
Did you
No,
meet?
she was
Did you meet
lovely.
any of the four horsewomen in the airport?
I never met any of the
Well, lend your fucking opinion. Doesn't
Why
matter.
are you here? That airport.
No, but he doesn't bother people in airports.
Yeah, I don't
I went
bother
up. I went up to Becky. I was like, "Excuse me,
I met
Miss."
Nikki Button in airport.
I go, "Excuse me, Miss Lynch." Fully aware her name wasn't Becky Lynch in real life. "Excuse me, Miss Lynch. Do you mind if I have?" I don't know why I went for Oliver.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oliver. Yeah. Excuse me, may I have
another photograph?
More. Oliver. Nah, can I have a photo? She took a photo with me. And then it was really awkward because
That's
I was getting on the plane. She was like front row of the plane, and I had to walk past her and make eye contact. I was like,
It's me, the guy who.
and then when I got into Manchester Airport, there was Carmella, and I was like, "Ah,
I didn't bother Mercedes Monet. I just noticed that she was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and like so,
What are
she
good
said,
things?
I think well, of the women's division is improving. It's not there yet, but I do think it's going in the right direction, and there's more people
Who's responsible for that?
developing. Who's responsible? I don't care.
No,
Just
but
getting better.
no, well, it's good
Oh,
to
sorry.
know.
In terms of like
Booking
who's
it.
the book
It was
wise,
Because
Kenny.
Kenny was there.
Kenny."
I'm assuming.
And every time Rio comes out, I know Kenny's still doing something back there. Fuck's sake.
Kenny's like throw Rio in there. But like more people getting better presentations. There's more interesting stuff happening. There's some actual slow burn storylines happening. You have the Tony Storm, Mariah May thing. I think Mariah May is going to be quite decent, big star potential. Then you have the Willow Chris Statlander thing. They're creating more stuff.
So they have the same thing with the two people. Two.
It's done differently. Like one of them's gone to one
Turn
of
on
them.
the other. Wow.
There's going to be two turns.
That's wrestling.
Come
Come on, Shane.
So yeah, one of them is a jealousy thing, and the other is like.
so
a
who-
No,
who's
I'm
the
not.
one
I
thing.
can't, see. I'm not going to. I don't consider anything that AEW do badly that WWE also do quite regularly as a negative on AEW.
That's just wrestling.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
just wrestling.
Yeah.
It just.
Okay,
invariably-
tag team division, is that all good?
Yeah, tag team division is good at the moment. It
And
did
what's
suffer
champions?
there for a while. Like I actually thought Ricky Starks and Big Bill did some decent work.
Who did
but it
they beat
just
for the
didn't-
title again?
It didn't feel important.
Acclaimed. Did they beat the acclaimed?
No.
FTR.
Who
Nope.
FDR? Who did they beat for the title?
Let me think.
Did they win the competition maybe?
No.
They won the titles in a box of cereal.
They won the titles in a wrestling match, I believe.
All right, against it's in such good shape that we remember who they defeated.
No, I'm talking now. It wasn't good towards the end of last year. Actually, nothing was good towards the end of last year.
Did they beat FTR?
I thought they beat someone on Collision, really surprisingly, and they came out.
FTR.
It was FTR.
Yeah.
It was FTR.
I said FTR earlier. Both fucking denied it.
FTR, when FTR, Big Bill, Sting and Darby, Sting, big league them, won't put anyone over, left with the title.
He should have actually left with the title.
He did.
He should have left with the title.
He left with the title.
He should have left physically with it and not returned
He didn't lose. They probably would have brought in a new title.
They did a tournament. Which was good.
They loved those. And the Young Bucks won. And FTR don't matter anymore.
That's just an absolute gross exaggeration.
FTR were the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, we can't be cool. Yeah, but you can't be cool in wrestling forever.
Yeah.
Like, fucking can.
Like, you need to
Look at
change
Sting.
things up.
He's been there for 80 years.
No,
he wrestled for 80 years.
No,
He wasn't always cool.
I loved FTR, but I do find one of them very annoying.
We all know which one that is. Yeah. It's not the one with the gun.
Cash.
It's not the one with the gun.
Yeah, so what else did they do right?
So I think tag team division's in a good spot at the moment. Like, that feels like it's got a reset, which it needed.
By giving the titles to the Young Bucks.
Yeah, you're slimy heel tag team that everyone wants to hate at the moment.
Nobody wants to watch them.
No, that's it. They got going. They got X-Pac Heat.
Nobody wants to watch them.
They have go away heat with you.
Yeah, and loads of fans like me.
They're doing big numbers on TV.
I'm a fan.
All their segments are growing on
Just
TV.
one, but lots of me.
All their segments are growing on TV.
Says who?
The Nielsen ratings. Have you ever heard of that?
Didn't they just lose
back in the 1990s when they mattered.
Didn't they just lose their deal with Danzig?
The Zone. Yeah, did you see where that deal was for? No, I'm not a fan of it. They shouldn't have signed the deal in the first place.
I didn't say how much. I said, did you see that they lost the deal?
He had no more information on it.
Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan.
They lost the deal.
They lost the stands. All the stands are gone.
I think because they also got rid of a South American one, which I think now what they're going.
AEW got rid of them.
Or they vice versa. Tele, whatever it is.
You know why? Because the fucking Young Bucks.
Are they getting smaller?
No, I think they're consolidating into
all their monthly loan repayments.
They're going to come in under HBO Max type thing. All their online stuff will go into one place.
I'm telling you, they're getting.
Oh, they're going to get a huge deal.
They were valued at $2 billion.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. I mean, that's where everything I say is nonsense.
No. Now, to be fair,
I think they're going to get a big deal because.
To be fair, to buy out all their contracts would probably equate.
I think they're going to get a big deal because it looks like NBA is going off TNT, and if that's the case, like anything that holds ratings for them, it becomes more valuable to WBD, which probably drives up the price a little bit for them.
But they should be saying, "We'll give you $2 billion." But you need to sort your shit out here, lads.
Yeah, like certain things need sorting out, which we discussed.
Yeah. Do you know what they need? They need like a Time Warner-esque,
like
top
a Ted
down,
Turner.
Yeah, top down. The executives come in and they go, Eric, I'm not so sure.
They're a private company. So you can't do that.
We need
no one can usurp Tony.
You can't.
That's the problem.
No, but
so he's going to surround themselves by yes men.
Sure. An executive said that you can't put Jay Briscoe on TV. So you can obviously put something there.
Yeah,
you can't go to the owner of the company.
Yeah, you can. I'll give you $2 billion, owner of the company, but just on our TV station, we just want this.
We want
They're not going to get $2 billion. They're not going to get $2 billion.
Yeah, well, whatever.
They're going to get good money. They're going to get good money. I predict somewhere around 200 million a year.
200 million a year. What's SmackDown? What's Fox on SmackDown?
It's significantly higher than that. It's like 300 and something, 400 and something.
I think that's outrageous.
Okay,
I don't think
outrageous.
Fox, whatever Fox paying for SmackDown, I think 200 million is a lot for AEW at the moment.
Yeah, but it's nothing to do with how good the quality of the product is.
But I see no potential unless they make changes.
I think the quality of the product would immensely.
Also because they're losing basketball as well.
I think the quality of the product would immensely improve.
AEW needs to start basketballing.
If they
did one episode.
Yeah. Actually, I enjoyed that.
You hated that at the time.
No, I hated the Young Bucks, but I loved the Dark Order entrance.
That was one of the best.
I loved
that. When they did Space Jam or something.
The Bucks did Space Jam,
but the Dark Order did the little line out.
I remember when the Bucks and all, and they did Ghostbusters as well.
that was a Halloween episode, and Hangman showed up as the Michelin Man.
Stay Puff.
The Michelin Man, Stay Puff Man,
Stay Puff Marshmallow
Man. And that was awesome. And then he couldn't get the pants off at the end when he was trying to hit.
Shane, I don't think you're taking this very seriously.
That was almost that's up there with my top moments in wrestling, along with the Miracle on 34th Street fight between Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. Love that. And the zombie match.
With Miz.
Where there were zombies and lumberjacks.
What about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one with Jeff Jarrett?
I didn't get to see that one because I'm scared of horror movies.
That was you'd really enjoy that. If you enjoyed those other ones, you're going to love this one.
Alley.
Like AEW just needed to stay clear of that. You know what I liked? They were going to have their ultra violence. I love backyard wrestling. I loved garbage wrestling.
I
love
like
CCW.
garbage wrestling.
So they were going to have garbage wrestling. They were going to have lucha libre.
Did you enjoy the Jericho Nick Gage stuff? Like when they were bringing Jericho to fight 5 guys?
Yeah, I thought the labours of Jericho.
Jericho.
I thought that was cool. And then you see Juventud Carrera every night, and you're like, oh, fucking
that stuff is cool.
Nice one. We're going into a bit of history. We're hitting on the nostalgia. This is cool. Could give or take if it was Chris Jericho, if it was someone else. But this is cool. You're keeping me fucking occupied because you're telling a story. Jericho has to go through all these people to fight MJF. They've had a year's worth of a story where, in fairness, that fucking song that it did sucked ass. But there was a story there. But once again, everyone telegraphed it. Everyone knew MJF was going to turn. But then they almost did the thing where the inner circle turns on Jericho. But then they turn back onto fucking MJF. But then MJF knew that was coming. So it was like a triple swerve. And then you had the Pinnacle.
I thought it was cool.
That was cool.
But then Pinnacle went nowhere.
Yeah,
I think because everyone and like Shoe hated MJF.
No, but also they basically had no plan for like why are FTR and all like why are they all in this together? What are they going to do? What are they going to gain from it? It's the same now with Wardlow and the fucking
that's just there to set up.
Why is he there?
They just keep resetting with Wardlow.
I don't think AEW is the right fit for him.
Oh, it's not.
And actually, to go back to what you were saying earlier, you were complaining about the bangers. I don't think you like the bangers either. I love the bangers. I think like
I'm a bangers and mash kind of guy.
I am like full on bangers and mash. That's my favorite dinner. Give me bangers.
But only if they mean something.
All the bangers meant something. Not all the bangers.
No, but do you not become desensitized?
Omega and Vikingo on Dynamite one night. There was a banger. Didn't mean that.
Do you not become desensitized to it after you've seen it though so many times?
No.
Does it not become less special?
No, because like if I don't want to watch bangers, I can just watch WWE.
So WWE have bangers.
They don't really have that many bangers.
Any match with Gunter in it.
Like the Gunter Dragunov, like I'd watch them till the cows come home, but I'm not watching the rest of the show. Like I would say Gunter.
They get your fucking jaws or out like that, going, oh Gunter,
lariat me, Gunter.
Lariat, go on, hit me no fucking dirty chop with him.
Yeah, like Gunter has bangers ish. The Chad Gable stuff, they were bangers.
Dragunov,
he's Mr. Banger. If you
Ramen Rans.
Like Ramen Rans does not have bangers.
Ramen Rans has bangers.
No, I went to
Ramen Rans and Samazans.
I went to see
Ramen Rans and Samazans had a banger.
I went to see
how
Hamlet.
difficult it is to make a point in this fucking podcast. This motherfucker.
Ramen Rans and Samazans had a big banger.
What is happening?
That was a banger.
That was a banger.
Yeah.
So Ramen Rans has bangers.
I went to see Hamlet one time in amateur version of Hamlet.
Yeah.
And there was less monologues in that than there is in a Roman Reigns match.
Yeah.
Like Roman Reigns cut give me a banger and stop talking to me.
Roman Reigns telling stories, man.
He's literally telling them.
Roman Reigns Roman Reigns out here dropping soliloquies, son.
So I actually think AEW needs to lean more into the
but see
bangers.
why that works, why that whole storyline really worked for me, why I was
Which one?
The Rock Roman stuff towards the end is the blend of reality and the blend
it was cool.
Yeah, that's what makes wrestling cool. And that's what's Matthew saying? Oh shit.
You're not meant to make reference to Matthew.
Sorry, it's important to give him a shout every now and again.
You need to mic Matthew up.
It's like Jamie in Rogan.
What the fuck?
Like what the fuck are we talking about?
Bangers. TM.
No.
Roman
and Rock. Why it was so great.
Oh yeah, sorry. So wrestling is at its coolest when you're blending reality with what's going on in the ring. And AEW fucked up on that so hard that I'll never forgive them.
I can understand that.
Yeah, which they have, and we kind of dealed into that CM Punk thing. We are almost an hour into this podcast, and we still haven't got to him telling us why AEW hasn't fallen off a cliff. No, you haven't.
Falled.
It folded it.
It's been felled off.
It folded it off a cliff.
I think a lot. Okay, so we said tag division is in a decent spot at the minute. The women's division was a disaster. It's getting better.
So are we talking about what's cool, what's good now?
No, I'm kind of just causes for optimism.
Okay, cause for optimism. Yeah, that's good.
the whole argument was, because I have a cause for optimism too. I think Swerve as the world champion is fucking great. But MJF to come back, that's fucking great, even though I'd prefer him somewhere else. But the argument at the start was AEW has fallen off a cliff.
What? That was the argument.
Yeah, that was he texted us the other day.
This is what he did. This is what he did with the Cody thing as well. And he says, I'm fucking difficult.
Poor communication.
We're an hour in. We're an hour in, and all we've established is that Roman Reigns and Sam Mazans have bangers. That's all we've established.
TM.
Yeah, well, let this man speak.
So speak or forever hold your fucking peace.
I do think
it's fallen off a cliff.
It was like teetering over the edge of the cliff latter half 2023.
But it didn't fall.
The devil stuff. Like, I hate the devil stuff. I think where it didn't fall off a cliff was it was rescued by like a twig holding them on top of the cliff, and that was the Continental Classic in December.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoyed
Continental
that.
Classic was awesome, and I think it refocused the company and started moving it in a different direction. I still think we're in like a transitional period between where they were at the start, what they had kind of accidentally morphed into with more sports entertainment, bloated roster, and
Chop and let the man speak.
I need to write things down.
Yeah, and then
That's why it's great. We don't write things down. I had loads of stuff in my head that is just.
Oh yeah, I understand. I actually
gone.
I had a little yellow notebook and I wrote stuff down today, and then I left a notebook.
Maybe we should do that. Let us know in the comments. I'm really glad that when you said they had a little twig, and I was like, if he fucking says the Young Bucks, I'm actually going to punch a man. But no, you went Continental Classic, and I went, good fucking shout.
Yeah, it was Continental
Classic. But also, somewhat leans into the fact that they're out to produce great wrestling matches as opposed to tell great stories.
I think that's what they should be, though. And
No.
I'm not saying don't tell great stories.
At their best, they had both.
Yeah, I thought Continental Classic told great stories.
What, Eddie Kingston winning that title was great.
Eddie Kingston with
Mark
losing
Briscoe
the first
losing
two
all the
matches.
time and-
And Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal not losing because he doesn't have the help of his cronies.
What I liked about it is I
Daniel Garcia, the emergence of Daniel Garcia. Brody King, the emergence of him as a proper monster.
What do you mean the emergence of Brody fucking King? He was in a 6-man on Dynasty.
Yeah, I know, but then but like you can use him as your singles monster.
Yeah, they've fallen off since here. No, but the good thing about a problem with AEW is they had so many main event guys that Tony tried to protect them all. Therefore, none of them would fucking lose. And when they would lose, it would be to someone slightly below them, and it was clearly telegraphed. The great thing about the Continental Classic was there were so many good guys in it. I couldn't tell who was going to actually win it, so I was invested in it.
Yeah, Swerve and Jay White.
But why did you drop off so quickly then?
Both of them needed.
Because Tony Khan.
Like it's 4 months later. You said you haven't been watching. It was Continental Classic was December, right?
I didn't say I haven't been watching. I said I haven't watched.
You said you haven't watched Dynamite in the past month.
Dynamite.
Yeah,
oh yeah, full Dynamite in the last month.
Yeah. So what has changed since Continental Classic was so fucking great
Jack
and
Perry,
so fucking grand?
Tony Khan, the footage.
That's only the last 2 weeks.
Young Bucks.
Yeah, I know.
The new Young Bucks when they came out.
I love the new Young Bucks. They just leaned into the online hate. It's perfect.
But what I'm saying, it's not that I'm not keeping up with. I kind of have a fairly good idea what's going on in AEW right now. I used to watch every minute of Dynamite. Like, I wouldn't miss it. I hadn't done that since 1999 Raws, like Friday nights kind of staying
I
up late.
also think a part of it is
and NXT, yes.
We're 5 years in now.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's
no
part
longer,
of it too.
you no longer forgive them for their errors.
Yeah, and like what I
Massive
really do
errors.
is I just kind of I wait for the pay-per-views. Like I watch all the Dynamites, some of the collisions, and then if there's a banger on Rampage, I'll watch that. Usually it's like two mad luchas.
Do you watch a banger on Rampage?
Yeah, I'd 100% watch a banger on Rampage.
Did you watch the parking lot match with Trent? And,
I watched that. Yeah,
I watched that.
Like that's their most the new.
Oh no, I did not watch this week's.
Like I seen someone tweet online. It was like the parking lot brawl is AEW's most consistent stipulation. They've all been deadly. It was actually good, yeah. And like that's a story again that's been played out a lot across multiple TV shows, and I think it has hindered the story because if you're not watching all of them, you miss beats of it.
Yeah, that's a good fucking point. Like, you know, when we're talking about parking lot fucking things, proud and powerful with Santino,
that was awesome.
or Santana and Ortiz, not Santino. I would have loved to see Santino in it.
Oh no, that's Santino Rilla. We're talking about the guitarist.
Santana.
Yeah, he was awesome.
But with Santana and Ortiz, like they kind of wanted to break up. So they just broke up, and then they had like what could have been an
all on
amazing
Collision.
feud.
All
But
on
yeah,
Collision.
yeah, could have been an amazing feud. But then had
Or was it on Rampage?
exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could have fucking missed it. And it could have been amazing.
No, I'm sure a lot of people did miss it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one example of loads
Crime.
of those
Yeah.
examples.
Crime.
Another thing that AEW have done
Factions.
terribly is
Factions.
overexposing gimmicks, matches, like
Texas
Texas
Deathmatch,
Deathmatch
yeah.
every fucking week.
Haven't done one in a while. I feel like we're due at Texas Deathmatch.
Yeah, exactly. And too many high spots. People not linking up with each other, like saying, "Oh, here we're going to do a table spot in the main event." So
Hey, why are we doing 1-3 matches?
why are we doing one in the opening?
That's what I mean by becoming desensitized to it.
exactly.
Like I knew when I
It's all
seen
the-
Pac and Okada, right?
And Punk was trying to change that.
Pac doing like his cool dives and stuff. I'm like, I know I'm going to see some fucking cool dives in the rest of the fucking show because that's what wrestling is. And like that's the same from an indie promotion all the way
You're
to
going to see that
WWE.
everywhere now.
You're
That's
going to
just
see
the way
you're
it
going to
is,
see
yeah.
dives and all that kind of stuff. But it makes it less special the more you go on.
Yeah,
So
and those are
therefore-
fucking hard things to do.
Exactly. Oh, crazy. So therefore,
But Cash Wheeler actually, Cash Wheeler got the crowd back with a dive in the ladder match later on, because like the crowd were so dead after Ospreay and Danielson, they were burned out. Like the start of the Bucks FTR match was like,
But why does that make? Because Cashfield doesn't dive that often.
I know,
he does
but
the remember he was doing the 450s and
it was the dive itself was so good. He got the crowd back.
I know, but it's
did
cool
it-
because he did it.
look, but look at as much as I really
We had it like
really,
7 matches. In a
as
row.
much as I personally disliked it, I kind of had to like the sportsmanship and the actual wrestling ethos behind MJF doing a double clothesline and a kangaroo kick and getting those over. Such small little things, but the crowd's popped for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of fucking Canadian destroyers off a ladder to I know this is Ring of Honor, but off a ladder to an outside ladder and breaking your fucking leg. Although that's cool, you know, if I won't remember that spot until he broke his fucking leg.
Also, I was on Ring of Honor. About 10,000 people watched it.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Like I don't know what watched.
Whereas you remember the fucking kangaroo kick. Next time fucking MJF does that, you're like, here's a kangaroo
I
kick.
don't think he should do it when he comes back.
No, definitely. I don't think you should have. Like, I fucking
No,
hate it. To
I
be
hate
fair,
it, yeah.
but like you
I
do.
got over.
But yeah, exactly. It got over. Small, simple things. Get
Did it go over with you?
Yeah, I love.
But see, if I want small, simple things like that, I'll watch WWE. I don't want that.
I don't
so
like the way
won't
you're
watch
kind of
them.
comparing WWE to. You're like, you know, if you like subtlety, don't watch WWE.
No, they don't do
If you want
subtlety.
stuff in,
They don't
if
do
you want to do
subtlety.
stuff in your face, like you watch them. You know, what I
They
mean?
don't do
If
subtlety,
If I
no,
wanted
they
to watch
don't know
little baby shit wrestling for baby shit minds, I'd watch WWE. Stop. The fucking storytelling in there has been immense.
There has some good been recently. Some good stuff.
The reason why
Sami
Roman
Zayn
Reigns and
stuff's
Sami
good.
Zayn's had a
The
banger
Chad Gable stuff
was the story. It's the story.
that's a year ago now.
Yeah, but the whole story and the story still played out a year later.
Yeah, the
That's
NWO did that too, and we all saw how that ended.
No, the NWO didn't know how to keep steam. They kept up the tribal chiefship for 3.5 years. That NWO was what good for what? 2?
It's mad when you actually look at how short it was.
Yeah, when you look at WCW's reign, like AEW is
It's going to pass it out this year.
Yeah. There's been more Dynamites than there has been Nitros though.
Not yet. No. Soon, I think though. I think in like 30 weeks or something.
Or will it?
Or will it? It will. Spike.
Will they get a TV deal?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, to get a big one. To get a big
End
one.
up on the Sci-Fi channel
And I think like again, other sci-fi channel.
having zombies.
Well, yeah.
Kevin Thorne is making a
ECW.
comeback.
I think other reasons why it hasn't fallen off a cliff. Swerve, you mentioned him. He's awesome. Perfect guy to be your world champion at the moment.
And think
Samoa
about
Joe.
where he was at All In.
Oh yeah.
Like he was in the fucking casket match with Darby, Sting, and Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he just started fucking
The
elevating.
Hangman,
and
the
elevating.
Hangman feud did wonders for him.
Yeah.
Like a proper meaty
Yeah.
blood feud. Like, and one thing that they need to do better is there needs to be one blood feud per pay-per-view for every cycle.
Well, there need every
Like
fucking
pure hatred.
every fucking match needs to have a story.
Yeah.
That's simple.
See, every match does have a story.
Hangman and Page, despite the gratuitous violence in it, which I love because I
loved
like.
That, like, people online complaining about Hangman drinking Swerve's blood. That was one of the coolest things.
One of the coolest things in that I've ever seen is one of the
Moments.
Briscoes. Is one of the Briscoes hanging from where they hang
Yeah.
the titles, and he's dripping down on Jimmy Jacobs. I was like, that's some Blade shit. That's some cool stuff. I love fucking stuff to push the envelope, and I like the gratuitous violence in it. But there was a good fucking story attached.
Oh, they had
to it too.
earned the violence too.
Yeah, if they just had a match that was fucking somewhat similar or whatever, still a banger, and they didn't have all that kind of fucking heft behind it, it doesn't mean as
I
much.
also don't think every...
And that's why Swerve is now your champion because he went through that story and the trials and tribulations.
And that's what made him, like, that's what got him over massively with fans.
Gadoosh.
But I also think, like, you don't need every match overburdened with too much story.
Every match should have a stapler in it.
A stapler, like, is this metaphorical?
Everyone needs to get staples.
And Hangman stapling his kid's picture to
amazing. Like, that's cool. That's cool storytelling.
But you don't need that. I don't think you need that every match for 7 to 9 matches.
You don't need something in every pay. You need a pay.
Every pay-per-view match should have some level of story.
You need a proper
everything should build towards pay-per-view, like mostly, unless it's a big TV pop.
Especially if you're doing fucking a pay-per-view every month.
Yeah, I wanted more pay-per-views because I thought the 4 wasn't enough.
But like,
I think maybe 8 is too many. I think 6 might have been the sweet spot.
Maybe there's way too many matches on these pay-per-views because he's trying to fit everyone in.
I disagree. I think like 9 matches is what they've generally been doing.
But there's 7 9 and 1 singles match. Like, do you need?
There's 3 to 5 singles matches in every pay-per-view.
The last one, the last one was a better, but the one prior, I think there was only 1 singles match.
On Revolution? Nah. Surely there was more.
We'll have to look.
Did AEW starting their climb after falling off a cliff? Or in your opinion, so they have fallen off a cliff. We've won.
They were teetering on the edge.
How are they going to get? No, I'm neutral. I'm neutral.
They were teetering on the edge the night the Devil appeared. What was that? World's End. When Joe beat MJF and the Devil appeared. They were teetering on the edge. Continental Classic, Swerve, Hangman.
Now, what's going to take to get Shane back watching AEW?
Well, I think it's going to happen naturally. I think this is going to happen to all of us over the next 5 to 10 years.
Frozen over.
Cody.
That's just Cody.
I think this is going to happen to all of us over the next 5 to 10 years. AEW and WWE are going to have ups and downs, and they'll probably perfectly like
align
the
downs with the ups.
Yeah, exactly. Something will get hot. Ospreay will get hot, or someone will get hot in AEW. It'll make WWE look bad for a while.
I can't see that happening with Tony Khan continuing the same bullshit he's up to.
It happened with Vince when Vince was booking. It can happen with Tony Khan.
Vince is surrounded.
Vince got people hot, like.
Yeah, but Vince has surrounded himself with all these people as well. Tony Khan has the NFL to contend with. He has fucking.
He does need to like
Premier League to contend with. Now he has a fucking.
Who's booking Fulham?
Who's booking the Premier League? Whoever it is, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, not bad.
But. Like, that's a lot on some of these fucking players.
Yeah, I don't think that's
too
sustainable.
Much.
And like, I think like you've seen over the last 5 years with the patchy booking that it's not sustainable to do all those things.
I think he's just a bit of an idiot, though, Tony Khan.
He is not.
When it comes
he's
down
a fucking nepo baby.
Of course
you're a fucking nepo baby, Tony.
So is Cody.
Spending fucking daddy's money, man.
Cody's a nepo baby.
Dusty wrote The American Dream, lost all that money until Paul Heyman, baby. Paul Heyman came in and he seen that Dusty was doing car commercials just so he didn't have to pay the rent on his car. And Paul Heyman took him from the abyss and gave him some bookings. He went up against Steve Corino, baby. And Dusty Dream, the American Dream, came back, baby.
That was really good.
Well done.
Thanks.
That was good.
But Tony fucking can. You're a nepo, baby.
I want
Get your shit together
to come into my nerdy.
I want billionaires to give me money so I can book a wrestling promotion. That's all I want to do. That's my fucking dream.
What other nerdy stuff do you like? You know, like wrestling's nerdy. We can't really pretend anything.
Superheroes.
Yeah, that was cool when all the money came into Marvel Cinematic Music.
Yeah. That was amazing. And then they fucking ruined it.
Yeah, it's ruined.
Why? Tony fucking Khan. You fucking nepo baby. You ruined DC, you ruined Marvel, you ruined AEW. The company that was created for the fans.
Tony Khan ruined it.
What?
Home and Away was never good. Manchester United, Tony Khan ruined them.
Buy Man United, actually.
No, he'll ruin them again.
Probably. No.
Look, the main reason, and it's always going to be a personal thing of saying something fell off a cliff, is it's always going to be a personal opinion. I've stopped watching because I don't enjoy it as much anymore. I don't enjoy it as much anymore, partly because WWE's got better. I think that's
a big factor.
It's a massive factor.
Yeah, I think that's a big factor for a lot of people as well.
Coherent stuff. Like, I was watching WWE for a long time, kind of
hoping.
hateful watching, and you're going to have these lightning moments in a
Finn
bottle.
Balor at SummerSlam 2016.
And he wins the Universal title. That's an Irish man winning.
I was like, yes.
But like, you'll
better.
always get these lightning in the bottle moments. You'll have your Daniel Bryan, you'll have your Wyatt introduction, you'll have your Shield,
Kofi Mania.
you'll have your NXT, or your Nexus the first time. You have Retribution the first time they showed up. That was fucking promising, right?
Like that.
But that was promising, and then it went to shit. But now it seems like there's a coherent fucking base going. Something that happened, like just the other day, you had Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio in the back of a shot when an interview was going on, walking out of a dressing room together. That's foretelling that Liv is getting in to Dominic's head
While
with
Rhea's
Rhea's away.
gone.
And they're not saying, there's not a camera on them saying, oh, thank you so much. And Rhea's not meant to be watching Raw.
Yeah.
That's just
Gets the
happening.
fans talking.
They're happening in the background, and it makes you want to invest in what's happening on screen because you're going, oh shit, I could have missed that.
Yeah.
And
that's
that's
not
why-
going to happen in AEW.
And that's, but they used to have these little things
I
that
think
they
they're
would,
done stylistically. They're done differently, though.
They-
Like there is things like that, but stylistically different.
generally in
Example.
promos,
Like
the devil
Uh,
stuff or the
no,
devil,
no,
the
I
devil,
discount
the
the
devil
devil's
mask.
stuff.
Yeah, but that's
the devil mask over Adam Cole's head and
Yeah.
the dressing room and blah blah blah. Yeah, so they did the exact
that was-
same thing.
But that
That
wasn't.
was the most
literally the
obvious.
exact
Yeah,
same
but like as soon as the devil, as
Sorry,
soon
is
as
the
the
Liv
mask
Morgan
talking
talking to Dominic in the back of a shot?
That's
now,
as big as the
obvious
devil.
well.
yeah, it's totally. He just telegraphed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the AEW literally did the same thing. I don't want it to be like that. Like I want to have to work out storylines. Some of them, not all. Of them.
But the difference is one was a whodunit, and one was
What's happening next?
ooh, that's a bit cheeky, Dom. That's a bit dirty, Dom.
It's the same. It's the
Oh,
exact
you
same
little
thing.
cheeky
as the
little
devil
boy.
mask.
Cheeky
It's
little
the same
boy.
thing as the devil mask.
Yeah,
No,
but
it is fucking not. The
It
devil
is.
man. The devil man.
no, the Liv
Adam
Morgan
Cole-
thing they could go a few different ways. The devil mask thing, you knew Adam Cole was the devil from day one.
I know, and if
4 or
it
5
was
months.
anyone else, I would have been annoyed because it would have been a
Could have been
swerve
Edge.
for the swerve.
Could have been Edge.
Could be Tony Khan, seeing as he's so happy to be on TV.
Could have been
on
Edge.
TV, like in an angle once in 5 years. The
Yeah.
other times it was like,
But if
they
he's,
won't have-
I have a big
Why now?
announcement coming
why
up.
now, Tony?
I think to write himself off for a while.
Write himself
he's
off.
on-
Well, I don't think he's traveling with them for a few weeks.
Is that true?
I don't think so.
Who told you that? Brian Alvarez, was it?
No, I haven't listened.
What? So wait. He wrote himself off TV even though he wasn't on
But
TV.
like the storyline, I don't know because it hasn't happened yet.
He was on NFL like the day after
In a neck brace.
in a neck brace.
Yeah, but they announced at Collision that he was at Collision, but he can't. He's been advised not to travel
no, he came out at Rampage.
and Collision.
Yeah, and someone they fucking made Swerve come out and talk about how we don't need to have Tony Khan here because what happened on Wednesday, and Tony Khan was actually on telly the night before on Rampage.
Yeah,
He came out. He's
but
grand. He's all right.
Yeah, he's not
So
traveling with
couldn't
them
stay out
to
the back
to the shows. That's a storyline thing anyway.
Yeah, like that's a storyline. And to be fair,
We don't
I'm
know
willing.
what's
I'm willing to give it time,
We don't know what's happening.
and I can't wait for another 4 months when we're going to go. That was shit.
The reason Tony Khan has
Unless Vince McMahon comes back into AEW.
Unexplodes his limo.
Yeah.
Imagine if that limo was real. And
I'll tell you
Vince
what,
just
would bring,
died
what
at the
would
time.
what
Vince
would
would've
get
died
me
here.
back.
It was
no,
me.
what would get me back watching AEW weirdly would be if there's a new GM and turns out to be Shane McMahon.
Oh Jesus!
I'd be like, all right,
there's a
let's see where
McMahon's
this-
name
let's see where this is
contract
going.
on
But like,
the,
there's been weird. Like,
I'd be
think
all
it-
right with that.
think
I'd be like,
about-
okay, this is what's going on here.
All right, look. To be fair, right at the end of 2022, we lived through 2023. I don't think anybody could have really predicted what was going to happen within the wrestling landscape. So much different things has happened.
Yeah.
So many things that no one could have fucking
Guess.
guessed. Like and even AEW being through that lull, no one could have guessed. Like fucking 80,000
They were
people at
so
Wembley
hot.
is amazing.
but that's in the
They
middle
were
of their lull
all-
as well.
No, they were already losing a bit of the momentum.
I think that was
They
the
were.
middle of the lull.
Yeah, the lull. Yeah. They,
No, but like, well, we don't know if it's the middle of the lull. 'cause
It might be,
they're
yeah,
still,
true.
they're still in
yes,
the
could
lull.
be the beginning of lull.
But like, something could fucking happen that just sparks off. Motivation is found once again.
One thing gets hot. That's all it
I
takes.
think I think the all in of this year is going to be a big telling point about whether or where they're at.
Do you mean like in terms of quality of the
Ticket
show
sales.
or ticket sales? Because ticket sales are good. They're
Like
up
the
to- they're up
Clash
to
of the
near-
Castle is really bad in Scotland. Apparently, tickets
Really?
Was when is
That's
Backlash?
expensive.
Is
Yeah,
Backlash
well,
this
true.
weekend?
Backlash
Yeah.
France this weekend.
I think there's loads of tickets available for that.
Is
as well.
there?
Yeah.
like because what generally happens with rentings is
But I looked up tickets just to
ticket
see what were
sales increase, and then a few months later you see a change in the ratings, and vice versa. If your ticket sales decrease, your ratings drop a couple of months after.
Yeah, like WWE are charging for restricted upper tier views £380. But that's a double ticket for SmackDown and
actually, I'm more worried about WWE than I am about AEW.
Oh, fuck off.
Hear me out. This is super hot take, right?
Right.
Hear me out.
This is the end of the podcast.
I've lived through this. You UFC fan?
Was.
Interesting.
Back to the Chuck Liddell.
Way back to
Tito Ortiz.
The golden age.
Andrei Arlovsky.
He's still there.
I know.
He's retired recently, I think.
He had Fedor over in Pride.
They got taken over by Endeavor 2016, 17, late 2016. And if you look at the product UFC now, and I've been watching consistently all that time since. Back then now, I used to watch, like you, with Collision and all. I used to watch every UFC fight night, everything. Endeavor have come in, could totally change the corporate structure of the company, butchered a lot of the product, changed the payment structure, changed their negotiating structure.
That's why Francis Ngannou left.
Yeah, and like other stuff is why aren't we seeing McGregor 4 times a year like we were in 2015?
I think that's a lot to do with Conor McGregor, to be fair.
No, if you look at 2017, 18, 19, like he was waiting to fight. And weren't giving him deals. It's just the way Endeavor run their business. And I think with them taking over WWE now, we're probably in the early stages of the changes of the corporate structure there. You look at, they've already announced that NXT are doing a show at the Apex. Did you ever see UFC at the Apex? There's no fans there. It's just fights on national TV in an empty warehouse with a few VIPs in attendance, like 50 people. It's a disaster. And the product has gotten like terrible as a result.
Why would they do that? What's the point now?
Because all their money is coming from TV. They don't need to book arenas. They don't need to travel around to, I don't know, Poughkeepsie.
But wrestling is integral to that stuff. Like wrestling is
live audience is integral to fighting as well.
It's not really.
Oh God, it is.
It's integral for.
I think any live sport, anything is audience dependent.
But like,
I suppose that
wrestling in particular,
they're already doing the Apex, which that worries me. Like the Apex it was set up as a training institute, not a place
but like at the end of the day, there's probably going to be more people at NXT the Apex than there are going to be at Dynamite.
No.
So
no, I think the place can hold like 300 people.
Yeah, and Dynamite are doing fucking like 8,000 seat or 10,000 seat stadium,
3,000-4,000 people,
getting
in them.
5 or 6 people in them. The rest are all comps.
So yeah, I'm worried about WWE in that sense, and I think that's partially why they couldn't sign Mercedes, Okada, and Ospreay. Is they don't have,
but they got Drew and Finn to sign.
Re-sign, yeah.
And they signed The Rock.
Well, no, The Rock was signed by TKO.
Yeah,
so with juicy shares.
That's Endeavor though.
It's TKO. Well, yeah, it's Endeavor owns TKO.
So they signed The Rock.
Yeah, but they gave him shares. Like that is. I wonder, could they not sign Ospreay? Mercedes,
well, no, we seen it.
Ospreay wanted chairs.
They couldn't agree with Austin at Mania.
Yeah, the Austin at Mania. That's why the Undertaker came in a hoodie. Do you think Undertaker was already there when Austin said no and he didn't have his gear? So
do you think Undertaker was going to AEW without it?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He was nearly signed with didn't he sign with Starcast and then had to cancel on Conrad Thompson?
Yeah.
Anyway, AEW falling off a cliff. We're all in agreement. 1, 2, 3.
No.
You fucking.
Oh, I tapped.
You fucking tapped.
All right, my hands on the table.
Yeah,
tap.
he tapped up.
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping for the best for AEW.
Yeah, I'm optimistic.
I think we all are.
Yeah, no, you're not. You want them dead. You want no more work for all these wrestlers. You want form your own promotion.
I want a place for us to be able to go.
Yeah, where are you going to go and do your 3-minute match? Dark Elevation is gone.
Now we've just cancelled ourselves from AEW. If this podcast goes out into the fucking ether, they're going to be like, Shane shitting on AEW.
Yeah, Shane
no,
did.
I didn't.
But one valiant member of this podcast team is mad for it. We really want.
People want to hear.
Let's go AEW. Let's go. We can do it, Tony. Fucking do it.
Can I just say sorry to John Martin for butchering his role on this week's podcast?
Nah, you've been great.
I am the Bob Holly of the Rockers to his Shawn Michaels.
The Bob Holly.
Although he is the
Leaf Cassidy.
Leaf Cassidy. You mean Al Snow?
Bob Holly was in the Rockers.
John Martin would have got that right at least. Yeah.
Bob Holly was in the Rockers.
It wasn't Al Snow.
Give sign off.
Actually, it was Avatar as well.
He is the Horace Hogan to my Hulk Hogan in the NWO.
We already.
A wet fart.
That's just Horace Hogan. It's nothing to do with you.
Yeah, sorry, I ruined it. We mentioned Horace
There's
Hogan.
also didn't we do a?
I think you're like the Gilbert.
His Goldberg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe
Johnny Morrissey is a behemoth of a man.
He is,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair.
For me, he's the jackhammer.
He is
He's the genetic
jackhammer.
jackhammer.
He's grapefruits.
I don't think we can talk about the genetic jackhammer or the grapefruits anymore. Given,
John would.
yeah, it's true. He's fine.
And he'd call Hulk Hogan a racist. Something that you didn't even say once.
Yeah.
Or say anything about Chris Benoit.
Say fuck all. You never
You never
brought up Chris
You never once brought up Chris Benoit. John would
Sorry,
have.
John.
John would
Sorry,
have,
John.
Fucking Marto,
Sorry, John.
better than Morrow. I know.
I
know.
agree.
Thanks for
Thanks,
you're
Niall.
you're
Yeah,
welcome
come
back.
back anytime.
You're welcome back. Is scheduled for Two Falls ever coming back?
We're in the same
So
country
no,
now.
we got we get an email every month showing our hits.
Yeah,
few
some
peop-
people are still
A few
listening.
people watched the Osprey episode this month.
Yeah,
And someone they watched the Kurt Angle rookie year.
that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Someone or like a few people?
A few people, a couple of people. A couple of someone's.
Couple of, yeah.
Was it just the one?
No, it wasn't one. It wasn't one, but it wasn't much higher.
It wasn't one. It was above one.
Yeah.
It was below three.
It was, no, it was higher than 3.
You
Okay.
can go listen to Schedule for Two Falls after you've listened to this podcast, obviously, because you've
you've done
already
the plug at the end.
They're
Yeah,
already
that's
listening to it. Yeah. YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you do the podcast listening. You're on YouTube too, aren't you?
TikTok. Yeah, man, YouTube.
No, but like is Schedule for Two
Schedule?
Falls?
No, it's not.
No, it's
you not videotape
It's
it?
Spotify
No.
exclusive. No, we
Did I
don't.
not videotape a wrestling podcast with you?
Audio.
Audio.
We definitely did a videotape.
No,
wrestling podcast.
we did a Zoom thing to
Yeah, we
facilitate
tried.
the fact that this guy lived in the Middle
A
East.
Zoom Royal Rumble thing.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
tried and then it didn't.
I have the footage. It's unaired.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah,
With the raw footage.
raw footage.
I thought it was on a podcast with you.
And just a few screenshots.
We did
You
our
were.
favourite Rumble.
We went
wasn't
out audio style.
Favorite Rumble moments, maybe.
I think we each picked our own favourite Rumble.
Yeah, we did.
Mine was. I think mine was probably over.
And shout out, who was Michael Verney? Was he the fourth or John Martin?
Michael Verney.
Verney was
Verney.
the first,
Shout out
yeah.
to Michael Verney.
He was 92.
Irish Independent.
Anyway, that's been the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. You go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on Instagram. We're not on Bebo, but we can be. MySpace. Where can you not? Is Bebo gone? Bebo's gone.
What's the new was Zuckerberg one? Like Twitter.
X? Oh, Treads.
Threads. We on Threads?
We're on Threads. I don't use it.
We're
Never
on
even
it, but
seen
you
it.
don't use it.
Yeah, like I posted like 2 things and didn't get any response. And I was
Follow
like,
the boys on
fuck
Threads.
Threads.
Follow them on Treads.
Follow us, like, subscribe, sound off in the comments. If you disagree with anything you said, be prepared for a cheeky comment back because don't feel lost.
I'm going to be in the comments as well defending.
Yeah. And as always, go fuck yourself.